How's it going, everybody? Chainsaw Dropkick here. So yes, I am in fact making yet another video about Harman Smith. Trust me, I'm literally not doing this on purpose. It just so happens that like every single week I end up getting notified of like a brand new fucking schizo rant from this guy. And I try not to make a video every single week about him, especially since there's like one other thing that I feel like making a video about. But of course, since, well, someone told me about this video when it was actually still being scheduled on his channel, I of course decided to, obviously mark it down so that way I don't forget about it, and it's pretty much priority number 1 on my list as of right now. So of course today we have a video from Harman Smith where he claims to have played Baldur's Gate, and spoiler alert, he definitely fucking didn't, as we will very quickly find out throughout this video. So without further ado, let us sit back, relax, grab some popcorn, and let's just dive right in.
In order to better understand Baldur's Gate 3, I decided to take it upon myself to play Baldur's Gate, but I didn't waste $60 playing the new game on my brand new shiny gaming PC. No.
Holy shit, there is already a lot to unpack, as is very common when it comes to a Harman Smith video within like the first few fucking seconds. So let's put it this way. So you wanted to try and understand Baldur's Gate 3 and why it's so popular, yet you didn't bother to actually buy Baldur's Gate 3 in order to understand it. Yeah, that's already a fucking problem just to begin with. But also second of all here, brand new shiny gaming PC? Listen, okay, apparently this is like a running fucking joke when it actually comes to Harman Smith, always bringing up some sort of shiny gaming PC that he supposedly has. Yet, well, he doesn't show any evidence of it anywhere on his channel. Are you talking about like some shitty laptop? Because that probably explains your average fucking video quality on your goddamn videos. But I mean, like, it's very unlikely that he has a gaming PC, especially considering the fact that he can't seem to go 2 seconds without jacking Nintendo off.
Like, I decided it was time to go retro. It was time to go back to the classics. It was time to understand what Baldur's Gate is. So I went ahead and popped in Baldur's Gate 1 on my Nintendo Switch. I had it like sitting around. I bought a handful of these D&D games. I own Neverwinter Nights. I own Planescape Torment. I own this, right? I bought a bunch of these games. I never really played any of them. So like, I popped in Baldur's Gate 1. I played it on stream, and
by the way, fun fact, he's claiming that he had played this on stream, yet guess what? I decided to check through his, live streams on his channel. There doesn't seem to be a single live stream, like, at all, titled, as such. The most recent one is from 6 days ago, and it's fucking Hollow Knight, and a DLC of a completely different game. So, I have to ask, which one of these, live streams here, is you playing any of the, Baldur's Gate series? Where is it? You mind actually backing up your words here? Oh wait, you won't, because you didn't actually fucking play any of the games.
Bored within a couple of minutes. It is slow. It is boring. It is not all that well written. The character art is bad. The combat is non-essential. The plot doesn't really amount to anything. The game is outdated. There are better RPGs, particularly from Japanese developers, that came before this, right?
Holy shit. I think Harman Smith is going to have a fucking conniption when he actually finds out where the main office of From Software is. Tokyo fucking Japan. So do games like Elden Ring and the Souls series fall under Japanese developers, since, well, From Software is located there? Oh wait, I forgot. He has a fucking raging hate boner for the Souls series. I almost forgot about that.
And I really have to wonder just how exactly so many of these D&D games got made, how they got the pedigree and the respect they received over the years.
Well, you see, it's mainly because, well, D&D has kind of gained a massive fucking surge in popularity over the years, especially over, like, the past, 3 or so years, mainly due to the funny pandemic that fucking ravaged the goddamn planet for 2.5 years or so. You get the point, okay? It's become popular because, well, people had very few things to do over the past couple of years, and it was only at the beginning of, halfway into, last year when people were actually given the okay to be able to go outside without masks. Yeah, you understand what I'm trying to say here, hopefully.
And I imagine, much like every other Western video game franchise in existence, Western gamers simply don't understand that the Japanese equivalents are superior.
Listen, okay, I've played RPGs from pretty much both sides, and both sides have their ups and downs. Like, Japanese RPGs, yeah, they are very interesting, and they are extremely unique, but they have, their own slew of different problems that exist. Same thing with, I guess, more Western RPGs that exist. Like, they aren't really, like, like, to put it very, very simply, neither one of them are really, like, too dissimilar from each other. At the end of the day, like, they both kind of function in the same basic way, especially if it's, like, turn-based and whatnot. Like, they both function in, like, very similar ways. It's just that how they actually tackle, like, some of the RPG-like systems, which actually sets them all apart. And honestly, with, like, some of the Western RPGs, like, from what I've seen of Baldur's Gate 3, like, it looks pretty fun. It requires you to use your brain for once.
There are better RPGs like this on Japanese gaming platforms, right? There is a long history of better stuff, better war stories, better turn-based RPGs, better made games in general, with better visuals, more exploration, more content.
Do you mind actually bringing up some, some examples here? Oh wait, you aren't going to bring up any examples because they are, well, we can probably already make the assumption that they're all just Nintendo IPs? Yeah, okay. Checks out.
Lots of replayability and fun, right? Real sequels, like Baldur's Gate, and I suppose every other like CRPG, they rely entirely on the D&D brand name. Like, oh man, like if you just use your imagination, you can just pretend as if you're an interesting character. You can just pretend as if this setting and world matters to you. You can just pretend that it's not completely generic and uninspired. You can just pretend that you're actually fighting when you roll the dice. Like,
do realize that is pretty much also the bare essence of, like, most fucking RPGs, if not every single one of them. Sure, a lot of them aren't exactly as, custom as, like, Western RPGs and whatnot, where you can actually, like, customize your character and, like, put certain stats into certain places and shit like that. Like, not all RPGs allow you to do stuff like that. Not all RPGs allow you to do stuff like that, but at the very core, it is you literally playing a role and pretending to play this fucking role, except this time it's in a fucking video game. Like, it's really no goddamn different at the end of the day. Who actually gives a shit, and why is this a problem?
You can just pretend that, like, this is happening and that this is a big deal. You can just pretend that this is a good video game that deserves the praise, attention, and hype that it has gotten over the years.
You do. What it is extremely funny is that last bit right there could very easily fly right back into his direction when it comes to him sucking Nintendo off for literally every goddamn thing that they do.
Much like every other PC game in existence, including stuff like StarCraft, including stuff like World of Warcraft, including, like, everything else that comes out. Like, it really does feel as if PC gamers don't understand how good Nintendo fans have it.
Oh my fucking god, you have to be unbelievably fucking delusional. Listen, okay, don't get me wrong, there are in fact some Nintendo games that are actually pretty decent, but come on, Harman, are you fucking kidding me? You haven't gotten a new console since the goddamn Nintendo Switch, and that is literally fucking it. And the Nintendo Switch is so far behind literally every other goddamn console that newer releases are refusing to put their shit onto the Switch because they would have to downgrade it to the point where it doesn't even resemble the original fucking game anymore. Like, that's the main reason why a lot of, like, bigger titles aren't able to go onto the Switch. It's because the Switch isn't fucking capable of handling any of that shit. You guys have it good? Fuck you talking about? You haven't gotten anything new in fucking ages. Meanwhile, all the other consoles, they've at least gotten new consoles and new releases that are able to run on said consoles. Meanwhile, you haven't gotten any new fucking games since, like, the beginning of this fucking year.
They don't understand how much better our stuff is, and as a result, they don't respect it, right? They don't understand the just how much more advanced Japanese RPGs are.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to already, once again, call some bullshit on that one, because, like, Japanese RPGs, like, it's just fucking stats and shit like that. I mean, sure, obviously, all RPGs pretty much rely on stats at the end of the day, but, like, at least with more Western-style RPGs, and I guess you could technically count the Soul series as a Western-type RPG, considering that it has a lot more customization in terms of, like, the characters and, like, stat allocation and shit like that. Like, I guess you could count it as that, despite the fact that the Soul series is, well, created by a development team that resides in fucking Japan, but once again, that's besides the point. Western RPGs at least have a lot more customization, which I kind of actually prefer a lot more. It allows for a lot more expression in terms of like character creation and like character, like progression and whatnot. Meanwhile, with like, JRPGs, it's just like level up and like all stats just like get increased by a certain amount for each fucking level up to a certain point, and that's kind of about it. I mean, sure, they can be decently fun, don't get me wrong, but like, it's not nearly as advanced. I'm just saying that right now.
They don't understand what we Nintendo fans were getting around the same time. They don't understand that like Baldur's Gate like is entirely built on a lie, right? Like that it's this great RPG, like nothing else like it. The true successor to Ultima, which was replaced by Dragon Quest.
Oh my fucking god. I had to look some of this shit up. Dragon Quest did not replace that other game, and let's put it this way, those games that you just listed right there probably wouldn't even fucking exist if it weren't for the D&D IP actually creating some level of inspiration for some of those fucking games.
True successor to like the original CRPGs, right? Like it's appalling, like seeing Baldur's Gate 3 and seeing people just lap that shit up because they have nothing else, right? They have nothing else to talk about this year. It just really makes me feel sad for people who grew up on gaming PCs, who genuinely think this stuff is good, who genuinely like have no idea like what's actually out there, who have no real life experiences, who have never played sports or like gone for a bike ride or gone kayaking or like held hands with a girl. That is the typical PC gaming audience.
Oh my fucking god, the amount of projection that he has just exuded right there could quite literally give the school projectors a run for their fucking money. What the fuck are you even talking about, Harman Smith? You are quite literally, like, if I were to quite literally look up the fucking dictionary definition of a basement dweller, your fucking face would appear right there on the fucking front cover, my fucking dude. Listen, I've pretty much done, like, most of those goddamn things, and I mostly play on PC. Hell, I've likely been to a lot more fucking countries than even you've been to, Harman Smith, and I hate to be one of those guys that's, like, flexing about, like, shit that they've done in their lives, but I mean, if he's going to be acting like this, then I might as well, okay? I've been to a lot of places, and I feel like I could probably make an entire video alone talking about, like, my experiences in some of the different countries that I've been into. And when it comes to holding hands with a woman, I mean, technically, I guess I haven't done that. But, at least I have a boyfriend. At least I have a significant other, unlike this man, who I guarantee you is not only the textbook definition of a basement dweller, but is very likely the textbook definition of the biggest virgin on planet Earth.
That's the kind of person who thinks Baldur's Gate is a particularly well-made, interesting, or fun video game. That is the situation we find ourselves in. That people just don't have enough life experience to realize that stuff like Baldur's Gate, stuff like D&D just isn't all that fun.
Once again, the amount of projection is absolutely amazing. You do realize, I'm surprised that you lack so much fucking self-awareness, Harman Smith. This is unbelievably baffling. It's almost like a superpower of his, where he is unable to actually reflect on himself any of the words that he says in any of his videos, and he is just unable to realize that every fucking word that comes out of his mouth could very easily fucking apply right back onto him tenfold.
Right? People just need to accept this, right? That if you revolve your life around D&D, if you name your dogs Thaco or whatever, if you build your entire online presence on a D&D character you came up with when you were a kid, I'll be Spoony the Bard, and imagine spending 30 years of your life revolving your life around this character.
Imagine spending 30 years of your life revolving your entire fucking personality around a corporation that genuinely hates you like Nintendo does. Oh wait, I don't have to imagine, because we're looking at him right now.
Building yourself up, using this character in multiple campaigns, using this character in a entirely new in every D&D game you get your hands on. Imagine just being that person.
I mean, it's not my fault that you lack so much fucking imagination to the point where you can't comprehend why people would actually enjoy D&D. I'm sorry, but unfortunately in your case, it's a legitimate fucking skill issue.
Never understands that maybe other people can come up with more interesting characters than you can. The iconic Spoony the Bard is just a knockoff of Edward, a C-string character from Final Fantasy IV, right? There is no respect for the creativity of Japanese RPGs. There is no acknowledgement that these games are better. People only worship Baldur's Gate. They only worship these games because It's D&D.
No, I think people, quote, worship this game because it's, well, a legitimately fucking good game, at least from what I've heard. I don't know, that's just maybe a guess, but of course, since, well, it's very obvious that Harman Smith never actually played any of the Baldur's Gate series, well, he probably wouldn't fucking know that, and once again, he can brag about his supposed big, shiny, brand new gaming PC that is supposedly more powerful than the modern supercomputer, but of course, until we actually see any footage or any kind of imagery of that actually comes from this fucking potato camera, no one is actually gonna believe any of that shit.
Like, they have nothing else in their lives. They have no ability to, like, comprehend or understand anything that isn't like, loosely inspired by D&D in some way.
Once again, this could very easily be applied back onto you, except replace D&D with Nintendo IP, and you basically have Harman Smith.
These people have deluded themselves into thinking that Tolkien, like, invented fantasy, right? That this is the only fantasy game worth playing, all right? This is the only thing worth talking about or being excited for or enjoying. That is the Baldur's Gate audience. That is the CRPG audience. That is the PC gaming audience in general. The vegans of gaming.
Okay, I don't think you have a single fucking right to call PC gamers the vegans of gaming, when literally within every fucking video that you've ever made, Harman, you can't go 5 fucking minutes without bringing up random fucking Nintendo Switch titles, because that's all you fucking play. And you wanna know what's extremely funny, Harman Smith? Much like vegans, nobody fucking cares that you play on Switch. The only reason why people do care is because that's all you fucking talk about.
People who revolve their lives around trying to convince you that their lifestyle is superior to yours. That is the situation we find ourselves in.
Hang on, let's quickly play a clip from the last video that we talked about, with Harman Smith.
Where exactly is the backlash? Where exactly is the controversy? Why aren't people refunding this game en masse, selling their Xboxes, ending their Xbox Game Pass subscriptions, buying Nintendo Switch, like, getting away from Bethesda and their nonsense?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much where we're gonna end this fucking video off. But yeah, what did we learn today? Well, we've learned that Harman Smith is just as delusional as ever, and he's never actually played Baldur's Gate. Like, any Baldur's Gate game. But yeah, anyways, guys, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like. That's very well appreciated. Leave a comment down below what you thought about the video, what you want me to talk about next, and also subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want to see more content such as this. Also, go ahead and follow me on Twitter. And yeah, anyways, guys, this has been Sanity. Have yourselves a nice day.